How's it going, viewers? I wanted to help some novice people that are hopefully watching this video select a weapon that's best for them. Um, I want to try to discredit some of the myths that are out there too, and correct some of the way people think in this regard to when they're choosing a weapon. Um, the first one I'd like to cover, and this is by all means the stupidest thing, is that you only buy a few brands. That you can only get a Glock, or you can only get a Smith & Wesson. Um, that every other thing is crap, and that's not the case at all. If every other weapon was crap, it would not still be in business. Take for example the High Point. Uh, you can do the research on your own. The High Point's had kind of up and down past, but I personally shot this weapon. It's a High Point, 9mm. You can get it at pretty much every major firearms distribution. It's going to cost you roughly, or should cost you, no more than $145. It's lifetime guaranteed. If it breaks, you send it back, and the manufacturer will send you a new one or fix the one that you sent. To me, that's from service. If they're willing to stand by their weapon so badly, and they're going to fix it for free, then this is a quality firearm. I can't knock it. No one can knock that. I mean, you don't stand by a crappy firearm. You don't stand by a crappy product. You stand by a product that you think is going to last. Otherwise, you wouldn't make money. So to completely discredit that whole theory that there's only a few types of weapons you can buy that are worth it, there's only a few kind of weapons that are even good to look at, is completely bogus. You've got a whole line of weapons, and you just have to select the one that's right for you. So here I have 3 weapons. Like I showed you, the High Point. That's a 9mm. This is by Cobra. It's manufactured out of Utah. Cobra CA 380. That's the ammunition type, 380. And you got your Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson M&P, 40 caliber. So I got an extremely cheap gun here. I bought it from I think it was Bud's Gun Shop for $100 online. $100, and when I got it, it's gorgeous. I mean, you can see it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's got rivets just like every other gun, so it kind of helps you pull the slide back. The same thing as a Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson's a little bit different, but you know that feature is there. I mean, heck, the Smith & Wesson M&P doesn't even have a safety, and this thing does. So you actually can put the weapon on safe. It's not always cut and dry with purchasing a weapon and assuming based on price you're getting a better deal. It's just not. You choose a weapon that fits best for you. Therefore, the first thing you as a new person, as a novice shooter should do is go to a firing range and either borrow your buddy's weapon, borrow your dad's weapon, or rent a weapon from the firing range. Rent a couple of them. Explore your options. Get a feel for the weapons. I mean, look, if you're holding a gun and it doesn't feel comfortable in your hand, then why would you want to keep that gun on you? Why would you want to use it as a carry conceal or a home defense weapon? It should be second nature to hold that weapon. It should be nice and comfortable in your hand. So, if it takes a gun like this to make you feel comfortable, then that's the gun you need to have. And you need to practice with that weapon. If it's going to take a full-size pistol for you to feel good, then that's what you got to have. Now, there are advantages to this. Like, this is a removable grip. So you're able to get different size grips for bigger hands, smaller hands. So it kind of makes it more versatile. I mean, you're paying so much money for the bells and whistles, so that's why. It's also got adjustable sights, whereas the Cobra C380 does not. But the High Point does. The High Point sights are adjustable. So the rear sight right here, it can be adjusted. So absolutely, there's quality in the rough. There's always a diamond in the rough. You don't always have to pick the most expensive weapon. You pick the weapon that works for you. Second thing that you need to keep in mind is that ammunition gets expensive. If you look at the cost comparison between 5.56 ammo and 7.62, you're going to realize what I'm talking about, and it can get very expensive for 5.56 ammo versus the cost of 7.62 ammunition. That can be said for pistol ammunition as well. You know, here you got your 40 caliber versus your 22. So the 40 caliber, you get maybe 50 rounds in a box, and you're paying $20 for it. Well, for the 22 caliber, you're paying $10 and you're getting 100 rounds. There's a plus and a minus to that. 22 ammunition is scarce sometimes. It's hard to find. People see it and they buy it up immediately. Whereas 40 caliber, since it is a bit more expensive, since you're getting, I guess, less bang for your buck, you can find it. It's common. One of the myths that I always hear is a brass casing versus a steel casing. It doesn't matter. It absolutely does not matter what you get. If you buy a weapon and it doesn't like the ammunition, buy the other type. Sometimes you have to go through different types of ammunition before you figure out what works for that weapon. That's just the way it is. But it has nothing to do with it being brass or with it being steel. So that steel is not going to hurt your weapon. You know, it's a simple fact that the steel inside this barrel is a lot harder than the steel that's used to make this casing. So therefore, it's not going to scratch the barrel. It's not going to do anything wrong. It's not going to mess that weapon up at all. That's a bogus myth that people need to get rid of. That's coming from people that don't know what they're talking about. So we covered weapon, we covered ammunition. The third thing is, whatever weapon you get, it needs to become second nature. You need to take that weapon, you need to fire it. You know, it's very rare that someone they hold a weapon for the first time and they shoot it, and they're immediately, you know, an expert. They can go shoot a target at 50, 60 meters away at precision aim. It's very rare that when a weapon jams, someone knows automatically what to do with it. So, that said, you need to go ahead and practice with that weapon. If the weapon jams, you need to learn how to go ahead and figure out how to unjam that weapon. Figure out how to clear it, figure out how to reload it, and rack it and get it ready to go again. You should be playing with your weapon quite a bit. Not apologize, but playing, I mean working with it. Get on range, use it properly, use it proficiently in a way that you can grab that weapon and automatically know what to do with it at a moment's notice. You know, this is a tool just like a hammer is. And if you don't practice with the hammer, you're not going to know how to build a house. If you don't practice with your weapon, you're not going to know how to take down a target. That's just a fact of life. So, whatever weapon you get, you need to practice with it. It's a lot like riding a bicycle, driving a car. You become an expert by doing it routinely. If you don't do it routinely, then you're going to get pretty, you're going to suck. So, please take the tips that I gave you, put them to use. A couple websites you can check out are Arms List, Bud's Gun Shop, gunbroker.com. Please go ahead and stay off the websites where you bid on a gun, but you have to purchase bids. Those are scams. When it comes to when it comes to armslist.com, watch out. Understand your local gun laws and what's necessary when purchasing. Understand what's necessary in selling if you're selling weapons too. You don't want to break the law and get caught up in some kind of felony charge. Also, Be careful when you're buying weapons off people. You know, meet in public places. Don't meet at night. You know, use common sense. Bring someone with you if you can. You know, don't sit there and purchase a weapon in a dark alley. It's just not intelligent. Uh, be very mindful about what you're doing. I mean, obviously you're messing with someone that's selling a weapon to save ammunition in it. So just think about that before you do anything. Keep in mind the quality of the weapon. I mean, ask the questions you can about this weapon. Obviously, keep in mind about ballooning. So you're looking at the weapon and what is the state of it? When you look at it, how scraped up is it? What's the damage that's been done? Those are things you need to look at. If it's like a pistol, and say like a revolver, you know, look at the grips on it. Look at the wood. Make sure the wood's not cracked. You know, be a conscientious buyer and realize what you're getting yourself into. Do your research also. You know, the internet's at your fingertips. Google. Google reviews about every weapon that you see, so you can get an idea of what brand is good, what brand is historically bad. I mean, obviously, I'm telling you right now, the High Point has made a drastic change, so you can't judge the past based on what they're doing now. But on some weapons, they were junk, they still are junk. It doesn't look like they're ever going to get better. So you need to know that before you buy that. Some weapons are just prone to jamming all the time. The manufacturer spent little time working on any major part of the weapon. They just put it together, shipped it out. So keep that in mind. If you got any questions, any specific questions, go ahead and post them down in the comments below. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. Thank you.